With Tej. It's Wednesday, May 16, 2012. We're also streaming live on Guardian Talk Radio. Tell somebody to turn it to 96.9 FM right now because Coffee Break is on. And we always bringing you interesting subjects and topics. So I hope you're ready for today's show. Before I introduce my guest today, there have been some conversations as a nation that I feel like we need to have here in the Bahamas. First of all, it was always taught, to me to love my my brothers, my sisters, and discrimination is not something that sits well with me. So I totally believe in equality. However, I do stand firmly on my beliefs, and those would always remain the same. Being the son of ministers, and I thank God for my parents. My parents are listening right now, so hi mom and hi dad. But being the son of ministers, I've been taught by example from my mother and my father to show everybody love regardless of lifestyle. So, as we get into this show, I will ask my faithful listeners and those that call in today to be respectful with their questions and statements. Feel free to call in, but I will ask you to be respectful. And having that said, we have Executive Director of BLIA, Mendel Small, and we also have Travis Johnson, who's you just joined, right? Yeah. Just joined. So good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good morning, Tony. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great, man. Doing great, man. Tell us a little bit about BLIA. We're gonna talk about gay and lesbian equality, homophobia. We're gonna speak about. So just before we get into all that, just tell us a little bit about BLIA.
Okay, BLIA stands an acronym for Bahamas LGBT Equality Advocates, and the LGBT, I think you've said already, is lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And the group started in July of 2011, and we've been basically active on Facebook, and we're mobilizing people on the ground so we can do various projects in the community like education drives. This is just one of them because actually the month of May is a very big day concerning LGBT affairs around the world. International Day Against Homophobia. Idaho it's called. That's the acronym.
Idaho?
Yes, Idaho.
And
like
what,
the U.S. state.
Like the state, Idaho. And what does that stand for?
International Day Against Homophobia, HO for homophobia,
okay,
and transphobia. Gotcha. And that day is commemorated on the 17th of May, and that's coming up tomorrow. And we have a number of activities planned for that day, and one of those is doing a series of talk shows, your show being one of our favorites. And good. Also we're going to be doing a public forum, which is going to be held at COB. That's going to be sometime later this month.
Okay.
And tomorrow morning we're going to be in Rawson Square. We're going to be distributing flyers. It's a joint effort between the UNAIDS, which is in the PAHO building in Shirley Street. So we're teaming up with UNAIDS, also the HIV Center, because we feel that homophobia is responsible for a lot of people not being able to or not willing to go and get treatment for HIV and AIDS. So we feel that getting the message out that homophobia hurts everyone in the community, it's important, and a lot of people don't really see the association, but I can explain that later on.
Right, definitely. And before we go on, I just want to introduce joining me, sitting to my left, is Lashante Wright. And Lashante Wright, he's my co-host for this morning. He'll join me. He's a Renaissance man, poet, writer, activist. So, Lashante, good morning, man. Thank you for joining me on short notice, man.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Okay, cool. And homophobia, just a brief introduction to the homophobia in the Bahamas. I know in the past it's been a big issue, Travis, but is it a big issue right now, present day?
I think so. A lot of people are, have an issue with it. I know I personally, in the past, had an issue with individuals who were homophobic, and I was discriminated against a few years back. And so I do believe that this is a big issue that we need to address.
Okay, cool. And with you, Mendel, homophobia, is it a big issue right now? I'm like, you gotta excuse me because I don't know, and
that's fine. I mean, right. That's why we're here.
I don't see it, but I guess you guys would see it. So I mean, is it a big issue right now?
Well, it is a big issue because I can just break down some of the points and how it affects a lot of things that men in particular, because it's always greatest among men. women tend to be, less homophobic than men. And education is one of the key things because, we all have to get educated to get the best jobs. And education, a lot of it is, a lot of men shy away from getting a higher level education because they view being book smart or just reading as being soft.
See, but before you go on, let me just, because I see Lashonde, he made up his face because he's a smart guy and he reads a lot of books. Lashonde, what are your feelings toward that statement that being book smart may be related to being soft?
I don't generally think that's
no. I'm saying a lot of men. I'm not saying
a lot of men. Okay.
Because you're not homophobic because you break out of that kind of mentality, thinking that okay, if I read, then somehow I'm associated with being soft or sissy. And those who are very homophobic would adopt that attitude and say, you know what, I don't want any kind of association with being a gay person or a soft or sissy, and therefore I'm not going to go to school because that's a soft man's job.